Hello and welcome to the Jokes and Jams Morning Squad. This is Spank E, comedian extraordinaire. This is the Jokes and Jams and I'll be damned, you're going to learn something today. This is the Jokes and Jams and I'll be damned squad television show. You know, everyone loves to laugh. And no other culture is robust at their African-American humor than us. If you want to know what's going on in our communities, just watch our comedy. All we need is one mic. And we can spread our message to the entire world. And we've done just that, generation after generation. From Mom's Mabley to Stepin Fetchit to Pigmeat Martin and so many more. So envious of the impact that black comedy has made on society that we've often been imitated through blackface by other cultures. Yet though we eventually evolved into celebrity comedians like Flip Wilson, Red Fox, Dick Gregory, Richard Pryor, of course, our accomplishments were still often overlooked, still not getting the recognition that they deserved until now. Joining me today is my guest. We'll be right back with Sir Frank Cooper, president and founder of the African American Humor Awards.
Every day I'm way too fly. I should start a fashion rally. If I'm dancing on the floor, don't you dare step on my ballies. Man, my rims is shining bright, and my neck is frozen too. I be G'd in all my Fendi. I be G'd in Golden Goose.
As promised, that's my little opening theme song we were jamming over there. We have a good time here on the show. This is the Jokes and Jams, and I'll be damned squad show. Joining me is Sir Frank Cooper from the African American Humor Awards, the AHAs, as they are commonly called.
Top of the morning, Mr. Spanky.
Yes,
it's
sir.
A pleasure
I appreciate
to be
you.
here on Jokes and Jams.
So we're going, audience, you are going to get a lesson today in the African American humor experience. You're going to get a lesson in black comedy today, basically, to put it in layman's terms. We're going to go all the way back. We're going to come all the way forward with the history of the AHAs, the history of Sir Frank Cooper, how the AHAs, the African American Humor Awards, got started. So if you mind briefly telling us, how did you come up with the concept for the African American Humor Awards?
Well, in 1989, I used to work at a comedy club, the first black comedy club in LA, called the Comedy Act Theater.
Yes, sir.
It was in LA. And all of your today's comedians, very successful today's comedians, every one of them started out there.
Right.
There was a guy named Michael Williams that started this. And it was started because black comedians back then, we talking 1989, 1988, they weren't getting any time at the white clubs because the white owners would not give them their time to practice their craft.
Absolutely, that's where you had the chocolate nights, and they had different nicknames
pretty
for
much
the black comedy
hours,
nights.
yeah.
Right,
and
right.
they usually put them on real late,
right,
after everybody had gone home.
Right.
So Michael opened this up, and I used to help him with the club down there, and this is how I got a chance to meet all these today's stars and yesterday's stars. Well, this place became very popular. After about a good year and a half, things just took off. I mean, the club was the hottest club in LA. Everybody was coming down, all the celebrities, all the ball players, you name it. If you were anybody, you showed up at the Comedy Act Theater.
Absolutely.
And these guys, such as Jamie Foxx, such as all the Wayans brothers, and their sister, Robert Townsend, Kim Wayans, Robert Townsend, Paul Mooney, you name it, everybody came down there to practice their craft.
Absolutely.
Well, after about a good year, I kind of left the place. And while leaving the place, I really got addicted to comedy. And I said, okay, well, all these black TV shows are on, 227, Julia back in the day.
Right.
The Red Fox Show.
Yes.
All these shows was on TV. The Richard Pryor Comedy Hour.
Flip Wilson.
All these shows was on, and they were doing very well in the ratings, but no one ever honored these people at the Golden Globes, the Emmys, the Grammys. They never got an award after being on the air for 5 and 6 years, some of these shows.
Absolutely.
So I meditate a lot. I'm not a drinker, I'm not a smoker. but I meditate. I meditate.
He
on
leaves that
music.
to me. Anyway.
So I meditate a lot, and I meditate in a little small room. And I'll go into that room. It's very dark. I used to take my little cassette player in there, and I'd listen to music, and I'd meditate. And while meditating, I came up with the idea of creating an award show for a minority, not just blacks, but minority comedians.
Absolutely.
And from that, it developed. I met a young lady by the name of Trisha Voorhees, and we started talking, and we decided to develop this, and doggone it, here it is 35 years later, we're still doing it.
Absolutely. Just to give some reference to that, Trisha Voorhees is the mother of Lark Voorhees.
Absolutely.
Who you've seen on Saved by the Bell.
Absolutely.
Just to give you some context.
Absolutely. And then after about a good year, her and I getting this thing together and pulling it together, she brought her sister-in-law in, which is Mitzi Voorhees.
Okay.
And these women have been with me for the last 32, 33 years.
Absolutely.
And they're still in there with me, and we are still grinding, looking for a sponsor, trying to keep this thing going. And it's been 35 years, and we have honored just about, oh my God, we've honored legends.
Yes, sir.
Like Dick Gregory.
Yes.
Like Richard Pryor.
Yes.
Like Eddie Murphy.
Absolutely.
To give you an example, the first show that we honored Rudy Ray Moore. I was intending to bring his gold album in.
Okay.
That the movie was made after. And
is that Way Down in the Jungle Deep?
I know that one. We ain't gonna get that dirty. But yes, Way Down in the Jungle Deep.
The signifying line stepped on
the monkey's feet.
I know that.
Said, all right. But anyway.
Can't you see?
Yes, indeed.
Standing on my feet.
You know it well.
I know it.
See you know it
I
well.
actually opened for Rudy Ray Moore when I was in Memphis.
Okay.
I've had a 35-year
Absolutely.
career. I've opened for a lot of people. I actually got the chance to work with him in Memphis, Tennessee.
Okay.
That was an honor working with Rudy Ray Moore. Yes, sir.
Well, I will tell you, with Rudy, we honored him at that first show, along with all the other legends that I mentioned. And after we did that show, these people were so honored and they were so happy. Marla Gibbs and LaWanda Page, all these people, they were literally coming up to me crying, thanking me for creating this. And about 30 days after we had done the show, all these celebrities got together and threw a dinner in my honor in L.A. And at that dinner, the very movie that was made after about 4 years ago, with Eddie Murphy playing Rudy Ray Moore.
Yes.
The major thing that they left out on that movie is they were talking about, the movie was about the makings of his first album, which was Eat Out More Often.
Okay.
That particular album back then went gold, but they didn't know it.
Right.
So at that dinner, after I'd done the award show, Rudy Ray Moore comes on stage and he say, I have something that I want to give you.
Okay.
And this is a token of my love.
Okay.
That album went gold 30-some years ago, and I want you to have it because I want you to let everybody know that I made a major mark in the entertainment field.
Definitely.
And he gave me the gold album in a frame, and I still have that gold album. Now, when the movie came out, they never even told the public that there was a gold album from that album, that album sold over 500,000 copies and went gold. They never told anybody that in the movie. And so I have the original gold album. And it's hanging on my wall. Well, it's in the safe now because I found out just how much it was worth.
That's really incredible. Mm-hmm. Now, before we go any further, you mentioned you would need looking for sponsors. Let the people know how they can reach you, how they can find you.
They can reach us. In case
they want to sponsor the African American Humor Awards.
You can go to It's the Ahas, all one word, itstheahas.com, and you can see our history, our legacy, and you can contact us through that.
Absolutely.
Or you can contact me through Let's Get Serious About Talk.
I like that.
Let's Get Serious.
Get serious.
My email address is sir.ious@yahoo.com.
Now, you also have a documentary that you produced about the legends of the African American Humor Awards and how it got started. There's a twist to the story, America, and you definitely want to check this story out. Tell them the the other side of how you first financed.
Well, we're not going to go into detail. We won't go into detail, but
it's a great story.
There was a documentary made about my life and me creating this first award show. And in that documentary, we talked about how I came up with the money to do that first show 35 years ago. And after
Yes.
shopping the idea around in Hollywood for about a good year and a half, everybody said it's a great idea, but nobody wanted to put any money behind it.
Right.
So I said, okay, what I will do then, I know how to make money. Mm-hmm. So before I
Check
came
this
to
out.
LA, I used to be a professional gigolo.
Yes, sir.
And so I said, okay, everybody, every producer, director, agent that turned me down in LA,
Yes, sir.
I targeted their wives and girlfriends. And in 1 year's time, I raised over $500,000 to do that first award show.
I tell you, he was good at it.
And, and that's gospel. Now, we are working on a part 2 of that documentary, and I will go into more detail about my life as a professional gigolo.
Absolutely. So I had another question here. You've given a lot of awards to different people. You've awarded Steve Harvey.
Yes.
What did Steve Harvey say at first when you first gave him his AHA award?
Well, I had commissioned Steve to host our Father's Day tribute.
Okay.
And since it was a Father's Day tribute, I would do a Father's Day tribute every Father's Day, praising minority fathers about the job that they've done raising their children. You know,
Right.
be it firemen, janitors, lawnsmen, caretakers, whatever job you were doing, we honored you, and we always had 3 celebrities to enhance the pot that we would honor as well.
Right.
Now, at the time, Steve was hosting along with a lady named Tanya Hart. She used to
Okay.
have a show on BET called Celebrity Gossip or something like that.
Okay.
So they were hosting. Steve did not know that we were going to honor him on that particular day.
Okay.
So Steve is doing his thing, bringing the house down. I have to admit, man, it's funny as hell, bringing the house down. So on this particular Father's Day, Steve had done his first TV show called Me and the Boys.
Yeah,
It was
I
a
remember
sitcom.
that. I remember that.
It was about him raising 3 young men. So since he
Yes.
was putting forth a positive image for black men,
Right.
we decided to honor him on this Father's Day. And when we did, he literally, it was the first award that he had ever gotten. And the AHAs presented it to him, and he literally broke down and cried on stage. And I got that on film.
Wow, interesting. So we are going to show a few pictures
Okay.
as well,
Okay.
and you can take us back to the story. Hicks, and you can explain each picture. This is the AHA's
Logo.
Yes, that's the logo. Laughter has no color, so
That's
smile.
our slogan. That's
Yes,
our
sir.
slogan.
This is you with the
Gold album from the movie My Name is Dolomite. The one that they never told anybody that album went gold. You see it right there on the screen. And you see 2 trophies beside it. One belongs to Eddie Murphy, one belongs to Whoopi Goldberg, which we honored them that same night. They got a trophy 35 years ago. And over the years, I haven't been able to get in touch with these people to call them back to let them know that they won one of the first AHAs that was given out that night 34 years ago. And these are their 2 trophies. And there's a plaque in front of that where we hadn't been able to get in touch with Denzel either. No Denzel. Well, I knew him. I don't know him, but I knew him. And that plaque that you see belongs to Denzel Washington for him representing fathers in good standing.
positively, yes.
Mm-hmm.
This is
The first program from that particular show. Now, that program consists of a lot of people who have passed on to another life now. But a lot of those celebrities' names are in that particular program. And that night, we gave out about 110 trophies that night. Because it was the first show and everybody wanted to get a piece of it.
Yeah.
And we gave out about 60 of them in person. Paul Mooney, Dick Gregory. I got some clips from that show too that people can go to the site. It's the AHAs and pull up and look at these people accepting the award. Marla Gibbs and all those people.
and you had Red on there too, right?
Red Fox.
Yeah.
His wife accepted for him.
Yeah.
Now this picture here is a picture of me. That lady is Red Fox's wife, Cajo Fox.
Okay.
Widowed wife. And that's me with the trophy in my hand presenting it to Richard Pryor himself. The GOAT.
Wow. Wow. And this is
That
also
particular
distinguished
plaque,
award.
absolutely. That particular plaque was given to me by the first black mayor. Oh my God, you've done your homework,
Yes,
young man.
sir.
By
Yes,
the
sir.
first
I'm
black
thorough.
mayor,
I'm
I see. By the first black mayor of Los Angeles, his name was Tom Bradley. he not only gave us that plaque for creating the Ahas, but he also named that particular day that we did the show as the Aha Day in L.A.
Okay. Okay. Excuse the pun, but I'm not just all ha-has and hee-hees.
I see.
I'm also a serious...
Pun excused, sir.
I can also be a serious journalist, America.
Absolutely. Okay, these are some of the celebrities. We've got a picture of George Wallace in his younger days. That is Kim Coles from In Living Color. She was one of the first on that particular show. And Marla Gibbs, LaWanda Page, and Sinbad, who's going through some hard times right now.
Yeah, shouts out to Sinbad.
Absolutely. Shout out for you, Sinbad. And these are some of the people that we honored. This particular plaque was given to me about 2 years ago from the House of Representatives for creating the Ahas in 2020, I think it was 2022. And that was given to me by the House of Representatives, our Congresswoman here, Dina Titus, here in Las Vegas.
I'm very familiar with Dina Titus. Dina Titus loves me, by the way.
Oh, I'm glad.
Shouts out to Dina Titus.
Shouts out, Dina.
Congresswoman Dina Titus. She loves me.
Absolutely.
She's a good friend of mine.
All right.
These are...
Now, these are the two trophies that were never picked up by Whoopi Goldberg and Eddie Murphy.
Okay.
And we actually have those trophies here in studio today.
Yeah, we'll show those in just a moment.
Yes, we'll show that in a moment. But these two trophies, they never picked them up. So if you guys out there know how to get in touch with these people to let them know that we honored them long before they became who they were, we saw their potential back then.
Before they were kings and queens.
Before they were kings and queens and what they do now.
Yes.
Red Fox. This was a tribute that we did for Red Fox at the Will Turn Ebell Theater in L.A., where we honored him and Della Reese for the TV show The Royal Family.
I remember that show,
and
too.
This was the show that he died on.
Oh,
This is the show that he died on.
Oh,
now,
wow.
on that particular show, there was a young up-and-coming young lady that was starting out to be a comedian. Remember I told you that we honored minority comedians?
Yes.
That woman's name is Margaret Cho, along with some of the other ones that performed that night.
Yes.
Margaret begged me to go on stage and perform for Red Fox. Well, I was hesitant because she was an Asian woman, the first Asian woman, and I said, she better be funny. Now, I'm going to give her 3 minutes, but she better be funny.
Oh, man.
Margaret came on the stage and did 20 minutes and had the people in stitches.
Killed it.
And then she went on, after she came off stage, I said, you need to stay here in L.A. because she had come down from San Francisco.
Okay.
And I said, you need to stay here in L.A. so you can become who you are destined to become.
Yes.
And look at what she did. She was the first Asian to have a primetime sitcom on a national TV stage.
Sure was.
And that show was called The All-American Girl.
Yeah.
Once again, another star that we had discovered.
Yeah.
This picture is me standing behind Monique, which I'm sure everybody knows. I call her the god of comedy simply because this woman took on, yes, the goddess of comedy. This woman took on the powers that be.
Yeah.
The powers that be went against the grain, exposed them for what they were. Okay? She went further than any male black comedian had ever gone in challenging the powers that be. And I take my hat off to her, and that woman's name is Monique.
Shouts out to Monique, representing the culture well. She was the first comedian to win that. Well, you know, not the first, but she did a great job in the movie Precious.
Absolutely.
Where she won that
Oscar.
She killed it.
Absolutely.
Killed
Absolutely.
it.
She's a hell of an actress. This picture here is a picture of me giving Jay Leno a plaque, as well as Jay happened to be the first non-minority comedian that we honored at the Ahas. And we did that simply because Jay did a mini documentary called The Green Book of Comedy, talking about the old black comedians back in the day and how they had to travel and where they had to stay and all that. So we had to honor him because he used his Tonight Show to enhance the careers of several minority comedians. So we had to honor him.
Absolutely.
He also got a trophy, an award trophy like this, an AHA trophy, and we gave him a plaque for his work.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, this is the flyer from the award show 2021, where we honored George Wallace, a Lifetime Achievement Award, Jay Leno, Lifetime Achievement Award, Monique, Mom's Mabley Award. And that person in the black and white was my
Who is
first. That was my first host for the Ahas. He was a co-host. His name is Chris Thomas.
The mayor of Rap City.
The mayor of Rap City. The first
Yes,
rap
sir.
TV show to expose rap the way it is. This man did that.
The first hip-hop comedian.
Absolutely. We honored him, and he won an award as well as Lifetime Achievement Award in 2021. And right to this day, Chris and I, we're still together, and we are planning to do a comedy concert
Absolutely.
in June. And I think you have been chosen to be part of that concert, Spanky.
I'm going to be on there.
You sure you're going to be there?
I'm going to do it.
You going to make them holler?
I'm going to do it.
I believe you. So we've
gonna do
honored, we have asked Spanky to be a part of this comedy concert in June. It'll be...
Now, who is it featuring?
It's going to feature... I don't have everybody down packed yet, but
Well, you got the headliner.
We got Spanky. We confirming John Hinton from
Living
the TV
Single.
show Living Single.
I'm excited to work with him.
Chris Thomas. And we
I used to rush home every day after school to see,
that
John
show?
Living Single.
Absolutely, I'm telling you, that was a bad show. That was a good show. And we've got this young man from Soul Plane.
Yes, sir. Godfrey.
No, not Guthrie.
Oh, I thought you were about to say Godfrey.
No, I want to get in touch with Guthrie, but Guthrie might cost me a little too much money.
I know you're not talking about Kevin Hart.
No, not Kevin Hart. No, not Kevin Hart. Even though Kevin Hart is definitely up for an AHA Award,
Absolutely.
2025 or 26 when we do the next award show.
Absolutely.
But we've got some heavy hitters that's going to be coming on board. And Spanky, you're going to be a part of that.
I was about to hold my breath. You said, we got Kevin Hart. I was about to hold my breath.
Too. Although I've been in his studio in L.A., as a matter of fact, Chris Thomas took me there last year.
Okay.
We went and I got a book from him, his book that he wrote and all that good stuff. So Kevin is a good guy. He really is.
So you did mention Jay Leno.
Yes.
What happened when you went to Jay Leno's office?
Oh, my Lord.
I did my homework.
Believe it, you damn sure did. Went to Jay's office just on a whim. Because I was working like hell trying to get George Wallace to commit to coming to the award show. So I was in LA taking care of some business, and I told the person I was with, I said, can you see if you can find Jay Leno's office? And she
Right.
said, okay, I can pull it up. So I said, well, let's go there, just out of a whim. I said, let's
Right.
go there. So I go to his office. I pull up at the gate. I ring the bell, and the guy said, yes. I said, well, I would like to see Mr. Jay Leno. He said, well, Jay is not here right now. I said, well, would you tell him Sir Frank Cooper from the Ahas would like to talk to him about honoring him?
Okay.
And he said, okay, well, give me your number and I'll have him call you. Now,
Okay.
just out of whim.
Right.
So I said, okay, my number is such and such and such. All right. And I said, please have him call me. He said, I will. I said, now don't bullshit me.
You're right.
I said,
Because you know how that
call me.
is.
Right.
Have your
So,
people call my people.
Absolutely.
You know
In one of those situations. So I said, okay. So he took the number. And as we were headed back to Las Vegas, when we hit the freeway, phone rings.
Yep. And
Hello? May I speak to Sir Frank? I was like, Sir Frank, this is Jay. I was like, you're bullshitting. He was like, no, this is Jay
he
Leno. I
is.
understand that you wanted to honor me. I'm sorry I wasn't there at the office. He said, but we can talk about that. I said, Jay, wait, first of all, I got to get over you calling me. I can't
Right.
believe you called me just like this.
Right.
And we had a wonderful conversation. He said he would accept, and that's when we honored him for 2021.
Absolutely. And there's a couple of more questions. We're almost out of time, but I did want to ask you a couple of more questions. Two questions, actually. I ask every celebrity that comes on the show, what is your wow moment? It could be a person, like they say, a person, place, or thing. What was your wow moment? I can't believe I'm here. I can't believe I'm doing this. I can't believe I'm with this person. What was your wow moment?
There were two wow moments.
This is my wow moment, by the way.
Thank you very much. Two wow moments. One pertains to the ahas, and the other one pertains to the gigoloing.
Okay.
The aha moment was when I saw all these black celebrities come to the first award show in tears thanking me for creating
Wow.
it. That was a wow
That
moment.
is a wow moment.
Okay. Gigoloing was when I went to this woman's house early in the morning to take care of business. Her husband had forgotten his keys. I jumped out of the bed and crawled under her bed. And while the man was there, he decided to stay a little longer and do his wife.
Wow.
And I'm under the bed shaking like a leaf on a tree.
That's a wild
cliffhanger.
moment.
You got to hit a rest. Part
Stay
2
tuned
of my
for
life.
part 2.
Absolutely.
And then you work with a lot of celebrities.
Yes.
What is, I gotta put you on the spot.
Okay.
What is your Mount Rushmore?
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say
I gotta
that.
go there. What's your Mount Rushmore?
A comedian, there.
Alive or dead?
Alive or dead. My first 2 would be Dick Gregory.
Yes.
Politically savvy, first man to run for presidency on a serious note.
Yes.
With a serious political platform. Dick
Absolutely.
Gregory. He brought it, and he brought the truth. The next one, George Carlin. Some of the things that George Carlin talked about then,
Yes.
we are living it right to this day politically.
Yes, we are. The 7 cuss words you don't want to
Absolutely.
mention.
Richard Pryor.
Yes.
I'd have
Pioneer.
to say Eddie Murphy. Mm-hmm. And I would really have to say...
Me? No, I'm just kidding.
You're working your way up there. I got to give it to you now. You're working your way up there.
Just kidding.
And I would have to say my last one on that list would definitely be Sinbad.
Yes.
Because Sinbad was always very clean.
The first king of clean.
Absolutely. And he told the truth, and he would have you laughing in stitches.
Yes.
So I have to give those 5. Now there are some other ones.
Yeah.
I've got to give
Honorable
a shout
mention.
out to. I've got to give a shout out to somebody that I have the same kind of respect for him that I have for Monique.
Yeah.
And I can't differentiate between the two who I like the best for what they've done for the industry and for themselves and for us as black people. And that person's name is D.L. Hughley.
Yes.
D.L. Hughley is one of the baddest comedians out there because he takes the truth and he makes you look at your shortcomings in your face and he will have
Yes.
you dying laughing.
Yes.
And
Yes.
he's about reality
Yes.
and his political savviness. I will tell you, when I saw DL call Megyn Kelly out on CNN on her
Yeah.
own show
Yeah.
for having Mark Furman on that show
Yeah.
lying about black people,
Yes.
my hat went off to that man.
Yes, sir. Now, we have about 3 minutes left. I want to get into where have you seen black comedy come or African American humor come from where its humble beginnings through blackface, through like the television comedians that we mentioned before, Flip Wilson, Red Fox,
Absolutely.
Up into what they're doing today,
Well-
and how do you feel about internet comedians versus real stand-up comedy?
Okay.
Get into both of those.
All right,
Now,
let me
2 minutes
start
each.
out. Let me start out with the internet comedians. Internet comedians, yes, y'all are funny, and for that particular genre, but you haven't been challenged because you haven't performed in front of a live audience.
Yes.
When you walk out on that stage in front of a live audience, you are butt naked,
Interesting.
and you have got to bring it, or the audience will take it from you. Internet comedians, you can perform any way you want to in front of a TV. That TV ain't gonna talk back. It ain't gonna throw a line up there on stage that you're not prepared for.
You're not gonna jump
And
on stage.
Absolutely, they're not gonna jump on stage and try to whoop your butt. But live, it take a brave person to get up there and do that.
Yeah.
Now, today's comedians, they are funny. And I would have to go all the way back to Burt Reynolds.
Yeah.
Not Burt Reynolds, Burt Williams. I'm sorry.
Burt
Williams.
Reynolds was funny though.
Yeah, but Burt Williams was the first black comic. He not only performed in regular face, but he also performed in blackface.
Right.
He was one of the first major comedians to start making money.
Yes.
And from him all the way up to what we have now, we've got Dave Chappelle. Oh, another truth teller, another goat.
Yes.
We've
Yes.
got Kevin Hart. I've got to throw
Yeah.
Kevin. We've got
There's
I
so
will tell you
many.
somebody. I will tell you somebody that I have a lot of respect for his craft, not necessarily a lot of respect for him as a person.
Uh-oh.
And that person, believe it or not, is
Me again. No, I'm just kidding.
I told you, you climbing the ladder. That person is, oh my God, Key and Peele.
Key and Peele.
Yes,
Yes.
those brothers are bad. Those are two bad brothers.
They're fun. If you haven't seen Key and Peele, you got to see some of their skits.
You got to.
We
You
have
got
about
to.
50 seconds left. I want to thank Sir Frank Cooper for coming on the show today. Let's quickly show the actual awards, if we can bring that picture up.
Okay,
And there they are
absolutely.
right there. Those are the actual awards. This one belongs to Whoopi Goldberg on your left.
And this one belongs to Eddie Murphy. And
Yeah.
this is the new trophy that we redesigned. As you can see, the bottom is just a little thicker. And there's our logo in the middle of the trophy. And
Yes, sir.
That's how we redesigned it. There's one other thing I want to say before we go, and that is I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Spanky, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here.
It's a pleasure. I see you got the AHA hat on your
Yes,
head.
sir.
I'm loving that. And
Yes, sir.
guys, come on out in June and take a look at our comedy concert. It's going to be a fundraiser for the AHAs.
Jokezandjamz.com. Tune in. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye you.